Happy Christmas, everyone! I know this is a strange time to produce another video because I've been AWOL for God knows how long yet again, and I know I keep doing that. Apologies. We have been fucking busy. We've been filling in little gaps in the hobby of things that we consider needed, and by the amount of things that people have purchased, I can only assume that other people were missing them too. And it's eaten up all of my time, hence Christmas Day I'm now making videos. But I love the hobby, so why the hell not? I'm also on my own, everybody's out, so I have time to do whatever I like. So let's kick off with patches. So Gap, or Green Army Productions, stopped making patches, and everybody kept asking me, mainly as we put them in the book and, you know, push the name out there, and rightly so, because his patches were excellent. So everybody turned to asking me, "Dan, we can't get Gap patches. What can we buy?" And at that time, the answer was there are no good patches. So I don't have a solution for you. Then Anthony Leafley stepped up and he made his Type 1, which again, I have so many examples for all these things here. So it is that one there, and it's marked PAL on the back, which is quite handy because starting to tell all these different patches apart is becoming a bit of an issue. So I've got Sharpie notes on the back of a lot of these. Then Stand in the Door 44 or something, 9044, whichever they're called, said to me, I'm going to start making patches. Fantastic. So he said he was going to do a 1, a 7, and various other different types. Fantastic. Brilliant. Then Leafley said he wasn't going to make any more. Okay, right. So for all the guys over here who don't want to be stung by shipping and import tax, I thought, right, enough's enough. I've had enough of this now. And also the guys in Europe as well, because buying from the States can get crazy expensive. So I thought, right, I'm fed up with this. Let's solve this problem. Let's find somebody who can make patches to the standard we want, and let's just hit this hard. So we went with 3 types of the 101st patch, and I went to the cabinet and I picked a Type 1, a Type 3 with a white tongue, and a Type 15, the ugly bird. Because I don't think anybody's done the ugly one yet, so it's just something different. I know it's quite later in the war, but I thought, what the hell, why not? So we had, you know, I had the company outsource the design to create the stitch file, and then the stitch file was sent back to the company. I'm obviously not going to say the company name because that would just be absurd. However, it will always be referred to as Leanne, because Leanne is the girl who I have confused with many strange requests about chickens and shields and gliders, and she has learnt so much useless knowledge. Branch of service colours. She has just been bombarded with all this information, and not being in the hobby, I think it's been a sharp learning curve. And I think she's enjoyed some of it because it's something very different to what they've ever done before, because they don't actually make patches normally. So this is very new to them. But again, it's just embroidering onto material. It's not making, you know, like a mirrored edge patch as most patch companies do now. So for them, it's embroidery, which is what they do, onto a large bolt of cloth. I don't know what it's, don't do correct terms of things because you don't need to. As well as the 3 chickens, we did the parachute cap patch and the glider cap patch, and of course those come in a whole variety of different colours for branch of service, as well as the woolen type and the fully embroidered type, which is the more standard. It looks like a shoulder patch, you know, it's fully embroidered, you can't see the backing. So that was about 20 different variations of patches, and then the 3 chickens, and one of which we did the white and the red tongue for the Type 3. So let's have a look. When they come to me, they look like so, and I scribble a 1 on it because, you know, it's just easier when I start fishing through the box to pull them out. They do come with this black backing, but I'm not going to do it. It does just pull off and you are left with, it looks like so, and like so. I did contemplate getting them to use an OD thread for the back, so that it would be an OD backed patch. But I thought, you know what, let's save all that nonsense for down the line, because that's an easy change. They can do that at any time for me. So we will save that later on, and maybe for only certain patches, because I'm trying to only make, like with the Garrison Cat patches, only making ones where we know originals have existed. I'm not going to guess that they did this patch in this colour. If we can't see an example of an original one, we're not making it. Plain and simple. So don't send requests for, oh, I'd love that patch in that design. No, it's not happening. I'll only need to see one original one. If you want to be that guy that has, you know, the one only of that type ever, that's on your head, you know. However, there are some fantastic books out there, and I will reach behind me. That has been a godsend in all the different types of colours. I have been doing patches for people for regular infantry divisions, and again, those two have been amazing. Oh, and if you want to know how patches are actually made, that is one hell of a book which goes into all the different types of stitching and patterns, and yeah, that has been one hell of a tool for this little project. So we have, well, let's go throw those ones out the way. So there is our type 1. Obviously you're not going to get a great picture from it, and there goes. So that's my original one, and that is the reproduction. Now the eagle is slightly lower down. That has been fixed for the next run, and the edging is the tiniest. It's like, I think it's 0.25 of a mil or something ridiculous. It needs to be thicker, but it will be done. They marry up perfectly. They are exactly the right size. I mean, down to the millimetre, it really is. That was one thing I said. Let's get the size exactly right first of all, and they did. They are spot on. Of course, they're not made in the USA because, frankly, who gives a shit? It makes no fucking difference where they're made as long as they are good. So the Type 3, there is my original fancy white tongue version. The original one, and so this one is RE Pro. So again, let's get them leveled up and in frame, because it's actually quite difficult and you can't really see what you're doing. So they are, again, very fucking close. The eagle is slightly lower down, and again, that's been rectified for the next run. These are the first run we did, so that was the first go. So that's not fucking bad for a first go for a company that's never made patches and for somebody who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And again, it's white on the back. We also gave the option of please make some with a red tongue. They did, no problem at all. That can go back there. Oh, and there's the original thing, and there's the one we've done to go with it. And they didn't do a bad job with that. It could be, the O could be slightly more rounder, but then doing text for anybody with this sort of shit is actually very fucking difficult. Because it's not a case of just getting font and then just writing it. It is drawing. And drawing letters is a lot harder than drawing a bird or an eye or a tongue or whatever. It is actually quite difficult, as I have discovered, but we'll get onto that in a bit. So, the Type 15, the ugly bird, not the British ugly bird, which is a B3, the American ugly bird. So, there we go. Let's put the two together. So, original R's, and I think that was the one that came out the closest. I think the bird needs to be a tiny bit bigger, but it is very, very, very marginal. But again, for a first go, fuck me. I walked in the office and I just went, holy shit. They went, what's wrong? I went, nothing. How are these so good for a first effort? So actually, where's R? So there's R1, and there's the PAL one, which is, it is a bit smaller. Not doing this to be a dick, I am just stating what is. So it is a bit smaller, but the design, yeah, it's spot on. Absolutely, you can't fault that. And again, I'll hold it over the original, so I'm not just going, hey look, compared to mine. So over the original, you've got all this, oh god, bloody mirror image crap, all this sort of extra patch, and just, you know, there's the back, so I'm not holding it at any stupid angle, you know, there it is. But it is what it is. Original there, I'm going to get so confused with patches. And I have a gap one to hand as well, so there you go, marked gap. I've scribbled a 1 on it, so we put that next to mine, and it is pretty much, oh it is, look at, wow, look at that, it is, yeah, exactly the same size. I'll swap them round just so I'm not making shit up. So they are, yeah. Right, so the ones I don't want can go down there. That's the gap border. Right, let's get those out the way. I don't have any stand in the door patches because I'm not paying 20 quid a patch. I just can't justify that for a patch, no matter how good they are, no matter if they're made in America, no matter if they're not UV glowing. That's sorry, but I just consider that far too much. It's a patch. I also had some guys from the States message me and say how much are your patches, and when I tell them, they go, oh, we'll just buy from you, it's cheaper even with the shipping. I was like, yeah, because shipping to the States is about 6 quid, and I think they bought 10, so it's about 80p a patch for shipping. So then we move on to this stack in no particular order. We have artillery on wool, artillery parachute on wool, medical glider on wool, medical paratrooper on wool, medical paratrooper fully embroidered, infantry fully embroidered, there's a few colours of those, medical glider fully embroidered, infantry fully embroidered, infantry parachute, oh there they go, there's 2 different colours there, which you probably, yeah, you can't really see because it's only a slight shade difference, but there is a difference nonetheless. So let's do both types. Infantry glider on wool, a royal blue infantry parachutist, a almost black, it's a navy blue on wool for infantry, an unusual one, but they existed nonetheless, just in, I would imagine, very limited quantity. Artillery glider, fully embroidered, artillery parachute, fully embroidered, quartermaster, parachute fully embroidered, signals, fully embroidered, signals glider, fully embroidered, oh god, and the one I can never remember, I'll leave that for a minute, the black and yellow MP glider, parachute, so that's on wool. That version is coming for MP, and that is green and yellow, as opposed to on wool it seems to be black and yellow, and I don't know why, but that's in the book, so I'm going to go with what they say. Black and yellow MP again. I don't know if there was a fully embroidered version of that type. I am trying to find out because I have a request for one and I want to solve that issue before I start making weird shit, as I said earlier. And I believe it's the 401st Ordnance Company. I could check the book, but I'm not going to. Somebody will correct me. I do know what it is, just not off the top of my head. So there's those variations. So there's, hello, somebody in Misdrop, no doubt. So there's those variations we've done. They are all ready to order. Mark in Belgium, or oh, I can't never remember if he's in France or Belgium. In Freljum has just ordered 83 patches. So that order will go out straight after New Year because I'm missing a couple for him. So I'll get those blasted out. And again, one of the things I said to my, Leanne, or Leanne, I said, you know, sometimes I will need these fairly quickly, you know, so week sort of turnover. I wanted to get an order rushed in before Christmas. Yep, no problem. 3 days I had, I don't know, about 20 chicken patches, that style of garrison cap patch. I think it's about 40 patches they did for me in probably about 3 or 4 days. So we can turn these over really quickly when people want big orders. fantastic. We don't make much on each patch yet. That's down the line. £8 a patch, roughly. Give or take, sometimes cheaper, sometimes more, depending on how many we have to run through at a time. Buying stupid backing material because there's all the different colours of wool. We're using, well, actually, I'm recycling M42s at the moment for the backing for the 101st patches. We haven't got a whole lot of material for it. I copied the material which is on this original 11th patch, because in between the middle you've got a nice view of what it is. You can't really see. It's a cotton twill. You can see the design perfectly on it. So I've got a shitload of that in a bag over yonder. Right, so at the time we started this, as I said, the designs, the stitch files were being outsourced to another guy, and we were paying that per patch. Since then, we've now taken on the project ourselves. There's a shitload of videos. So that, let me zoom in. God, it zooms in all over the place when you zoom in. So that is that 11th patch. It's called a oh no, it's not. No, it's not. So it's telling me that's not the same one. It's a different one. That's called a short tab 11th patch because the tab is a lot shorter. So all these designs are now being done by moi. I've learned another random skill that, you know, why not? So they're all being done by us. We're literally scanning in original patches, putting them into this program and drawing directly over them and then resizing to the size of the patch. So everything is scaled perfectly. The direction of the threads are all going the right way, and it takes a long time, but that's the sort of result we get. Now, to show this to its fullest extent, let's open my favorite patch, of course, which is the Type 8, and then we zoom in and you see all the details of those 3D feathers, because it is a gorgeous patch. Anybody who's seen one will know it's stunning, and it has a completely unnecessary amount of detail to it, which to draw, oh my god, I'm throwing things around the room at times, because again, I'm learning this as I'm doing it. Nobody's teaching me how to make this stuff. I'm just doing it. And that is how it looks. Stupid mirror image. That is how it looks. Obviously there's no background because it's sewn directly onto like a black velvet type cloth, so that is the background, hence why there's no background on that one. That will feature in a few of these that I'll quickly show you. Yes, not fun to draw, but should look the dog's bollocks when we make them. I'll quickly flick through a few. So we've done a 17th, we've done an unusual 82nd with the 82, then the 82nd with the joining thread that would have tracked to the next patch. Like when, I saw some nonsense the other day about 101st patch that has the colours then joining up to the title, and that's where it's been cut. Now what people don't see is those colours that trail up actually link to the next patch, and then they make the next patch, then it goes up and they make the next patch. They're nothing to do with the colours of rivers or any other nonsense like that. I mean, it's lovely that somebody would come up with such a story, but utter bollocks. That's it, just tracking to the next patch. Yeah, where people get this shit from. Same as the white tongues are all for Pathfinders. It's the same nonsense. 82nd OD border, and then that will be on a dark blue cotton twill, I believe, and that's the 82nd, no, sorry, 88th and 326th Glider Infantry Regiment. That's their own sort of cap badge. 101st with OD border. Ignore the horrifically luminescent sort of colours. The colours will be matched. I'm trying to zoom in on the wrong screen. The colours will be matched to the thread, so whatever's on here doesn't matter. I could do these in purple and yellow and pink. The colours will be matched to the threads. It just helps me give me a rough idea. And a typical example of that is as that one. That was the one they designed for us, and they did exactly that. They just did it in any old colours that clash with each other. So that would be done one section, that would be done in another, and so on and so on. So, and then 325th Garrison Cap patch. Sometimes they have the Airborne tab, a dark blue Airborne tab like the 82nd tab over the top. Other times they don't. It's something we can do at any time, or they can source one somewhere else. That's not a problem. Somebody asked for Armoured patches. So that's the interesting type with the coloured border that would be sewn on OD wool. So I don't think anybody's ever offered those out before. A standard 82nd, you know, just normal, fully embroidered. People have been asking for numbered ones. So this one's 2.5 centimetres wide, and to go on the Garrison Cap patch, because I've seen that. So we went, yep, we've seen it, we can do that. The 740 full-sized one, and then a 752, and it's designed to look hand stitched in the middle. So if you zoom in, you'll see it's quite rough and shoddy, because again, they used the plain ones and put their own numbers on them. Then there were some crudely manufactured ones as well. All these will be test sewn, or they sew out after New Year's when they reopen, and we can see how they come out, and if they need tweaking, then we'll get them tweaked. Hopefully they're good first go. I was asked for the first special service force. Some of them out there, they're not quite as good. So again, got some original ones, put them in this program, drew over them really carefully. And the text, oh my god, to do text that thin is a pain in the bloody arse. I can see why a lot of the repros, the text is quite fat and chunky, because it's just a damn sight easier. And then as you can see in the picture, let me move that, we've got the glider with skis facing left, the glider with skis facing right. You've got the 505th paraglide, which would go on black, I think it's black cotton, it might be black wool, I can't remember off the top of my head. I've got it all written down. It will be put on the right one, whichever. You've got them facing left, facing right. That was something somebody wanted. The British paraglide, it's more egg shaped, it's sort of overly tall, and there's also this weird space around either side. So we've got that in left facing and right facing. Then let's open this one, because it's just got that fighter sort of look to the plane, or bomber, whichever you want to call it. Really, really odd looking patch. It just looks quite peculiar. Ooh, didn't mean to do that, so I'm trying to move that. You've got that in left and right. Then you've got the usual paraglide, fully embroidered, facing left, facing right. And the last one is just a duplicate of a file. So those are the Airborne sort of ones. There's, what are the other things oh god, I've been requested. Oh, where's the British ones? Should show those at least. There we go. So we've got the British uglyish style patches with the big thick sort of almost knotted style borders. Again, that will go on, I think that's on black wool. So that's the B1. You've then got the B3 as well, the British ugly bird. Ignore the yellow, that's just to be cut just on the inside of that line. They were quite crude. I might even have one on my desk somewhere. So, oh, that's the one with the knots in it. You probably can't see. There is a thin border around the edge. No, I can't get, it's so dark it's hard to see. That's the one for the other one. There we go. So that's a British shape. So you see what I mean, whether it's just cut roughly around that line, but that's a problem for me to cut them out. So but yeah, that's the British ugly bird B3, I believe it is, according to Master Bando. I've been asked for 29ths, I've been asked for 28ths with an OD border, I've been asked for all sorts of things. They will all get done eventually. I want an Airborne glider patch as well that I've started, but there's so many details to that, it's going to take a while, so that'll be one I plod away at. Let me try and work this stupid program, put me back. So in July, I think I am going to invest in the machine itself, so we can churn away patches to our own happiness, contentment, reducing the cost for everybody further, because why the hell should these things cost so much? We all need them. We all need decent ones. Let's get this right down. We can then make absolutely anything and supply to whoever needs patches. Because why not? Right, that's enough. I don't think we need any very specific unit patches for fucking what. I like the armoured ones. Could you do the 752nd armoured amphibious? Yes, of course I can. Not a problem. Yeah, so there's the file. Boom, done. And some of them are very easy to do. Some of them are not so easy and have me pulling my hair out. And change the look. But we can do anything, in theory. So, moving on from patches. Oh my god, that's 25 minutes. Oh, do I cut it short here? Yeah, let's cut this one short here, and I'll do another one in a second covering other nonsense. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed me rambling rather pointlessly about patches and what's going on behind the scenes. For those, if you didn't, oh well. The book, that one, is being revised. The gap stuff's coming out. Our shit's going in, as well as other leather gloves that we've found, which are fantastic. Other grenades that are now available on the market. The book is being kept up to date. If you have an old one, of course, yeah, no problem. We'll send you out 58 free copies, because we've been advised that's what we should do by some twat. You know, the same as when you buy a mobile phone, is you take it back and they give you the new latest version for free, because that's, you know, and your car, you can do that with your car if you didn't know. Fuck, it's not people. You don't get a free copy. You just have a version with all the information is still relevant and correct. It just doesn't have the latest things that come on the market, because it's not fucking possible to keep shooing things in a book that you already have purchased. Same if you ever bought a price guide for something in the past. Sure enough, your price isn't wrong now. I got a price guide somewhere I found the other in 1995, military antiques. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, it's quite sad the prices are still not that. Anyway, enough rambling bullshit. I'll be back momentarily with another video on other stuff. Laters.